I'm going to teach you a very powerful technique to actually create more unity and love and to be able to see the world with the eyes of Mashiach, to be able to see the world in a much holier way. Shalom, friends. It's been a whole week. It's been 1 week since the Meron tragedy. And we're just not getting it. We're just not understanding why Hashem keeps doing this over and over and over again. Now, don't get me wrong. You've probably heard plenty of rabbis in the last week talking about why they think it happens and who's to blame, whether it's the politicians, or it's the ultra-Orthodox, or whether it's left-wing liberals. Everybody's putting in their 2 cents. I'm sure you've heard everybody talking about why they think this happens. But there's a bigger picture here. There's a bigger picture, and we're not getting it. The world wants to move forward. Hashem's plan for the world wants to move forward, and we are holding up the show. The world as we know it for the last 2,000 years, for the last 5,000 years, it's over. That world that we have known is done. And the world now wants to move into this new era in human civilization. There's the next phase for the world. There's the next phase for humanity. A better world, a holier world. Hashem created this world to be a paradise on earth. Dear Rabbi Tochtonim, Hashem wants to dwell down here. Everybody's trying to get up there. And God's like, no. I want to be down there. And we finished building that home. And now we're ready for that next phase. We're ready to step into this new era. But we're just not getting it. We're holding up the show. There is a fundamental Baal Shem Tov teaching that if you hear or see something happening in the world, then you should know, says the Baal Shem Tov, that you have some part of that within you. You have whatever you're seeing outside, whatever you hear on the outside, whether it's on the news or whether it's down your street. The Baal Shem Tov says that if you heard it, you saw it, that means that you have some type of culpability yourself. You have something of that thing within you. Because if you didn't, the Baal Shem Tov says you would not be able to see it outside, right? Gewalt. But that's like fundamental Baal Shem Tov teaching. That if you did not have any of that, if you were totally clean inside, then you would not be able to see it outside because the world is a projection of your inner world. So here I am, I'm about to get on the bus, go to Meron, and people are coming back and they say, no, it's closed, and we're trying to figure out what happened. And then slowly we start to get the information and we understand the magnitude of what actually happened. And hearing about 45 people being trampled to death on Lag BaOmer at Rabbi Shimon's kever, right? A holy day at a holy place. And the first thing that comes to my mind after meditating and learning and trying to integrate the Baal Shem Tov's teaching into my life for so many years, the first thing I think to myself when I hear 45 people get trampled on, well, wait a second. Then what does that mean for me? What does that mean about me? And then I ask myself the question, who am I trampling on? Who am I stepping on? Right? Because if I hear that thing outside, then wait a second, that means that I have a little bit of that inside of me too. And when I started asking that question, who am I stepping on in my life? Who am I trampling on in my life? I was like, whoa. And I went to those people and I said, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm going to take it to another level. This relationship could be at another level. I know I can step it up. Because Hashem keeps giving us these wake-up calls. Hashem keeps giving us these wake-up calls to try and get our own act together, pointing fingers at the other person. We're gonna keep pointing fingers till we're blue in the face. Geula is not gonna come. We're not waiting for Mashiach. Mashiach is waiting for us. And that means we have to take all of these messages that Hashem is sending us. We just had a whole year of Corona. And we're slowly coming out of it and we're going back to normal. What did we accomplish? What did we learn? What came out of it? What came out of a whole year of COVID? Something that happens at this global level. What do we take from it? How did we change because of it? Are we just going to go back into the routine? And the same thing with this tragedy. The truth of the Meron tragedy is nothing's really going to change. Nothing substantial is really going to come out of this horrible, horrible event unless we do something about it, unless we understand, wow, the creator of the world is talking to not us. The creator of the world is talking to me personally. What do I do about this? I don't want to go back to normal. I don't want to go back to the world that we've known since day one of creation. Hashem's like, it's over. We're moving forward. The world wants to now shift into this new era of peace and unity and love. Don't be fooled by what you see on the outside, but I need you to step it up. I need you to take it to that next level, to take your life to the next level. I don't want their death to be in vain. I don't want this horrible event to just be another tragedy. Because we're so used to tragedies. And it hurts. And it's painful. It sucks. But then some time goes by. And we go back to normal. We go back to our own routines. And we miss it. We miss the opportunity that Hashem is giving us every single time. And I don't want that to happen. I want us to actually internalize that the creation of the world is waiting for us. All of the heavenly angels, all of the tzaddikim, all of the neshamas that are waiting in heaven right now. They're all looking at us going, man, wake up, people. They want to come back down into the world. They want to start phase 2. And we're holding up the train. Because everybody's talking about unity. Everybody's talking about achdut. Everybody's talking about unity. But we're talking. But what are we really doing about it? Everybody knows that there should be more unity in the world, but the question is, what are we doing about it? So I'd like to teach you a technique to actually be able to create more love, create more unity, to create more connection and unity between us. It's based on something Rabbi Nachman of Breslev writes in his famous Torah, Likutei Moharan, Reish Pei Bet, Torah number 282. I'm sure you know it. I'm sure you love it. But if you don't, Likutei Moharan 282, Rabbi Nachman says that Chayav Adam Ladun Kol Adam Lekav Zchut. It's from Pirkei Avot, from the Mishnah, saying that we have to judge others favorably. And Rabbi Nachman says, Afilu Rasha Gamur, even if he's totally wicked, even if he is a completely wicked Rasha Gamur, that we have to try and find the good within him. Because everybody has a little bit of good. Everybody has a little bit of good. And Rabbi Nachman teaches that in that little piece of good that you can find within them, that good has the power to actually help them make tshuva. That when you find that little good inside of them, it can actually help them to to change and to overcome their wickedness, to overcome their negativity, to overcome their nefesh be'emit, their ego. The Lubavitcher Rebbe brings in Parashat Emor, the same Mishnah, Chayav Adam Ladin Kol Adam B'Kav Zchut. And he says that when a person is acting the way they are acting, and they're saying those hurtful things, and they're doing those negative things, those bad things, the Mishnah says, don't judge someone until you come to their place. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe quotes the Tanya. The Tanya says, why? Because it's his place that caused him to sin. Because he's in certain situations, because of their childhood, because of their upbringing, because of their education, whatever it is, social environment, that has influenced them, and that's causing them to think what they're thinking, say what they're saying, do what they're doing. That their situation is causing them to behave in that way. So don't judge them until you get to their place. Why? Because it's their place that is causing them to do that. Because if you were in that place, maybe you'd do the same thing. So he says, don't judge them, don't criticize. And we are so quick to judge one another. We're so quick to criticize one another. But the Lubavitcher Rebbe says something absolutely amazing. He says, just because that person is in that place and that's causing that person to sin, to act in that negative, in that bad way, it doesn't give him the right to be able to do that. It doesn't get him off the hook. Because whatever situation you've been put in, Hashem is also giving you the power to be able to overcome that challenge, to be able to overcome that obstacle. But that power, that strength, the ability to overcome your own ego, to be able to overcome your own animal soul, nefesh behemit, that power, it's like dormant within you. And so the Rebbe says that when you see someone acting in a negative way, when you see someone behaving in a way that is hurtful, that causes you pain, don't look at the external facade of what they're doing. Know that they have this good inside of them. Know that their neshama, their divine soul inside of them, is being concealed. And it doesn't have the strength to overcome the ego. But you can help them. By not looking at the external facade, by not looking at the negativity that they have, but looking beyond that and seeing the good within them, just like Reb Nachman says, to see the good within them, to give them praise, and to find the good points within them, the Rebbe says that actually begins to illuminate that good, and it be able to strengthen that good, to reveal that good until that good is able to break free from the prison of ego, from the shackles of the nefesh behemit, and then that good can actually become expressed. So by actually looking at the good within other person, by focusing on the good, then you're actually helping that person to become good. But just the opposite is true. That if you keep focusing on the negative, if you keep focusing on all the things that you don't like about this person, then it strengthens that. Then it keeps that in control. So this is the technique. Ready? Actually want to create more unity. We actually want to create more love. So this is the technique, all right? I want you to imagine someone that you are having issues with, someone that causes you pain, somebody that causes you anger, frustration, whether it's people that you see on the media, politicians, whatever, or it's somebody in your own life that you have a close relationship with and it's hurtful. And that person keeps thinking things, saying things, doing things that are hurtful to you. This is what I want you to do. I want you to imagine that the person that is saying those things, that is doing those things, is not really that person. I want you to imagine as if their divine soul, their neshama, is actually trapped within ego. Because everybody knows we have two souls, divine soul, animal soul. The divine soul is our true essence. It only wants good. It only wants kedusha, holiness, part of the Creator. Chelek Eloah mimal mamish. It's really part of the Creator. But that divine soul descended and is now enclosed within the ego, within the animal soul. And so when you see someone acting in that negative way, I want you to imagine as if their soul is inside. I want you to imagine their soul imprisoned within them. And they're like banging on the door. They're banging and saying, no, don't believe them. Don't believe what they're saying. Don't believe what they're doing. That's not really me. That's not really who I am. I'm trapped inside of here. Please help me. So the exercise is to look at a person and imagine that even though they're thinking, saying, doing negative things, I want you to look past that. And I want you to imagine their soul inside of them begging, yearning to be free. Begging, yearning for you not to believe that what they're saying is really them, but they are actually divine, holy, pure beings. It's like the story of Shlomo HaMelech, that there's a story where the king of the demons kicked Shlomo HaMelech out of the castle, threw him on the other side of the kingdom, and took the appearance of Shlomo HaMelech himself, took the appearance, and he became the king. And he was sitting on the throne. The demon king appeared as King Solomon sitting on the throne, and everybody thought that he was the king. And when King Solomon actually finally made his way back to the castle, and he's talking to the guards at the gate, and he's like, I'm the king. I'm the king. And they're like, sure you are, buddy. Yeah. I think you got a little bit of that Tzfat syndrome. But he's like, no, I really am. I really am the king. Nobody believed him. And so that's what I want you to think. See past that. Awaken the compassion on that person's neshama. See the good inside of them. And Bezrat Hashem, that just by your perception, by you actually being able to see their goodness, to see their holiness, that your perception actually has the power to help them, to illuminate that light, to make it stronger, and to help them to break free and to overcome the ego, to overcome the nefesh bemit, actually allowing them to express their divine, holy goodness. So, Bezrat Hashem, my friends, I hope you have an amazing week. I hope we take these events and we really internalize them. And I say, wow, if I were to take total responsibility for this, what could I change about myself? How could I look differently about my wife, about my husband, about my children, about my parents, about my neighbors, about the people that I see in the media? To really do work on ourselves, to actually begin to see the good within them, and by thereby helping people to actually be good. And then Bezrat Hashem, we can now say we're ready. We're ready to enter into that new era. We're ready to enter into this new phase in human civilization, a world of geula, a world of freedom, of peace, of unity, of real godliness, making this world a home for the divine, making this world a home for Hashem. I wish you an incredible week, and Bezrat Hashem, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.